Hi everybody, welcome back to Fossa Media. Wish it was just another Linux video where we get to install some stuff, play around with some tools, but unfortunately that's not this video. Instead, I'm just going to complain about the disgusting state of modern day customer support for a few minutes, specifically PayPal. Long story short, I think someone may have hacked my account, or there's some serious issues going on over there. The name of my account has recently changed, which leaves me unable to verify that I'm the owner. 3 days later, I'm still waiting for PayPal to get back to me when they said it would be a maximum of 24 hours. I'm currently on hold with PayPal yet again and thought it would be a good opportunity to make this video while I sit and wait. And maybe I'll give you the long version while I'm doing that. So about a year ago, I set up an account with PayPal and created a PayPal me link for one of my websites. When I went to use the link on the website, I just decided that I wanted to rename it to better suit the application that I was using it for. Now, what I thought would be a simple adjustment in the system settings was anything but. Not only could I not find an option to do this in any of the profile or user settings, when I tried to use the message app for their website, on their website, which I believe is powered by AI, a piece of crap, all it could do was tell me that it couldn't help me and that I would have to contact customer support. After 20 minutes of answering useless AI prompts, I finally got to speak with a human. And when I explained what I wanted to do, they said no problem. All I had to do was properly verify that I was the owner of the account, which I completely understood, and I'd be concerned if they didn't. Except for one problem. When she asked what the name was on the account, the one I gave them didn't match one on their records. While in my profile settings, I double checked, triple checked, and checked again. And sure enough, the name on the account that I was looking at, which was my proper full name, hasn't changed since I set up the account over a year ago. When I explained this to them, they didn't seem to care. All they did was continue to suggest that I log out and back in again. And then my actual username would be displayed on the summary page after logging in. Maybe actually I'll show you that now quick. And this is it right here. So unless my account is set up differently, the only information on this page is my account balance right here and the get paid fast option below it. No username to be found whatsoever. I rarely use PayPal and thought maybe this was just bad design. When I explained this, leaving out the bad design part, their only response was that I would have to wait for a supervisor to get back to me within 24 hours before they could validate that I was the actual owner of that account. I feel like solving a problem like this could have been done within a few minutes of troubleshooting, but apparently that's just far too much to ask, which has led me to come to the conclusion that not only the people that over there answering the phones untrained, they're just completely useless. If they cared about their customer security, why do I have to wait up to 24 hours, which turned into 3 days and counting, for them to verify my name that I could clearly see my profile? If someone had hacked my account, how is waiting in a best case scenario a full day going to help? And what happens in the meantime? But they couldn't give a shit less. 3 days later, I still haven't heard anything back from PayPal. And before I get more angry, I'm going to get away from this webpage here, go back to the slideshow. So not only that, when I tried to remove the account and requested my data be deleted, I got a message from the website saying that it just wasn't possible to do so while my account was being reviewed. And then I finally just gave up. I signed out, closed the browser, and then soon after I got an email saying that I selected the option to be automatically signed in, and all I had to do was click on my profile picture to do so. That's just great. I've never selected that option on any site whatsoever at any time and never will, especially a website like PayPal, as the cost and convenience there is just far too much. Even though almost all these websites these days do push that garbage, I always decline. But in this case, it was somehow selected for me. If anyone out there is watching this video and doesn't know, never ever save your username and passwords in a browser at any time, as that information just eventually gets stored as a cookie in the browser. And if anyone grabs a hold of your system and gets that cookie and puts it in their browser, they can log into any one of your sites without any problems, without even having to provide a password. Actually, they don't even have to log in. All I have to do is go to the site and presto, they're in. So yeah, never ever do that under any circumstances. It's always worth just spending the extra few seconds to type in your password. Sorry, I'll continue. Getting sidetracked here. With that insult or injury, when I clicked on the link asking if I would like to provide information About their new interface, I typed in a well thought out message, trying my best to be polite, and about at the same time, trying to relay the message that it just kind of sucked. Well, no, it really sucks. But when I clicked on the link to send the message, nothing happened. Not only that, now whenever I try to go into the business account settings, I just get redirected back to the summary page. I figure either their website is just broken, or it's me blocking the cookies from being installed in the browser in the first place that's breaking it. And if that's the case, why they even provide the option to accept your stupid cookies when you clearly don't have a choice? Then I realized I don't really need to provide a choice. The illusion's good enough because they're not really regulated by anyone and they don't have to face any consequences of any kind at any time. They can pretty much just do whatever they want. I'm so sick of this shitty company, and I just can't wait till I can finally get verified as an owner so I can just completely not or delete my account and never look at them again. It's definitely a very, very convenient way to go. But convenience certainly has a huge price that I'm not willing to pay. And same thing goes for two-factor authentication. It always starts with a prompt on the login screen asking if you would like to set it up, with one or two other options saying something like not right now or remind me later. Until the day, of course, you go to log in and those additional options have disappeared, leaving you with no other choice than to set up two-factor authentication. Which reminds me of another example, which would include my bank. Not only is their automated system a complete nightmare, I can barely understand a word anyone over there says because their accents are so strong. Each time I call it, it sounds like an East Indian call center until I realize my bank uses an East Indian call center. The last time I made a mistake of calling them, of course, they had to verify who I was. But again, I didn't mind this part because I'd be concerned if they didn't. Except the first question they asked me to do this was if I knew what the annual fee was for my existing savings account. I replied, I didn't know I was being charged a fee. Isn't that called a negative interest rate? To which they replied, are you unable to answer the question? I always thought that established banking institutions would be held at a higher standard, but unfortunately, I couldn't be more wrong. Not only is this level of service unacceptable, but like everything else, over time, it just eventually gets accepted and then later forgotten. Like finally giving into two-factor authentication because my shitty bank no longer gives me any other choice. Because they're so worried about my security that somehow a completely random password over 28 characters long isn't as good of a verification method as something that can be broken by a social engineer just calling up my cell phone company and pretending to be me. Just not acceptable whatsoever. And then I'm even having problems with companies, say like Proton Mail. I used to have an account with them in which I utilized their email and VPN services. I originally paid for a service for 1 year. And within that time, I received a copyright notice for downloading torrents while using their VPN. When I decided not to renew their services, I started getting emails from Proton Mail and VPN saying that my account was overdue and that I had an unpaid balance, even though I only signed up and agreed to pay for 1 year. Not only that, I was then locked out from even being able to access my email whatsoever, with a notice saying that I couldn't access my email account until the unpaid balance was paid, which is far less than ideal, as I use that email address for numerous other accounts, which I have now since lost access to. Why would I be locked out of an email account while the basic package is still free? Not only that, I agreed to pay for 1 year only, and I did so in advance with Bitcoin. I'm just glad I used Bitcoin instead of a credit card. If I did, they just would have kept charging me, even though I'm no longer interested in any of their services whatsoever. I also still have a video up on my channel about how to set up Proton VPN's CLI tool. I just remembered that, but I should certainly take that down. So I apologize if you were referencing that video at all. It's not going to be around long. And on a completely unrelated topic, sorry, I don't know why I thought of this. But something else has been kind of eating at me. Sorry, this rant's kind of turning into a bit of a ramble. But I'm still on hold with PayPal, go figure. But I'm almost done. I recently spent about 3 days on a video on how to make a Flask application by mainly just copying and pasting the code. At least how to get it started and up and running. which I've always found to be the most difficult part of the entire process. Not only did I have to make the website to copy and paste the code from, it was really kind of a pain in the ass, to be honest. I'm not just writing the code, but getting it to render properly so it could be copied and pasted from our browser and still retain its indentation and symbols and all that great stuff that code needs. But when it was done, though, I felt great because everything worked out perfectly, even though there were so many things that could have gone wrong. But when I went to check on its progress a day later, it got 23 views, which at the time didn't bother me because I do get it. Most people just don't have the time to build a web application from scratch, especially when there's so many other easier, quicker options. Until I noticed the video below it that was 3 minutes long that had a title, "I Just Want to Suck Your You Know What." And that video got over 20,000 views. I did laugh at first, but after thinking about it, it did kind of feel like a punch in the gut, which I'm still kind of feeling. Just that feeling that we passed the point of no return. Not only that, but why the heck was that video in my feed at all? I just don't get it. But I guess at this point, I'm pretty much just left with a few questions, such as how did it get this bad? How can it be corrected? When is enough enough? And are we already past the point of no return? But yeah, I think that's it for this one. I should probably wrap it up and get back to the phone in case someone over there at PayPal actually answers. But as always, please help support free and open source software. Thank you for watching the video and hope to see you on the next one. Bye for now.